Looking to buy a home here in Delaware and you've got the home picked out but you're not sure where to go from here? Today's video, we're taking you from contract to closing here in the first state. Let's go. Welcome back to Living in Coastal Delaware. My name is Matt Lunden and I'm a real estate agent here in Coastal Delaware with Next Home Tomorrow Realty. And like I mentioned in the intro, today we're going to be going over what you can expect from contract to closing here in the first state. So whether you've only bought real estate in other states other than Delaware, or maybe you're a first-time home buyer and you're looking to gain a little bit of information as to what the process is like. Today's video, we're going to be going over, really what you can expect from when you submit that offer all the way through until the settlement table. Before we dive too deep into the video, I do just want to say, if you are someone who's considering making a move, or you're thinking about making a move, or buying a home here in Delaware, that's what I help people with on a daily basis, and I'd love the opportunity to help you. So I'll throw my information down below in the description, as well as here on the screen. If I can help answer any questions or get you pointed in the right direction, or really however I can help, I'm more than happy to. So please don't hesitate to give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, whichever's easiest for you. I'm more than happy to help however I can. And then do me a favor, hit the subscribe button down below. That'll keep you in the loop each week when we go live with these new videos and discuss all things living in Coastal Delaware. Now let's dive into the video. In a video a few weeks back on my channel, we discussed in a more general, broad sense what you can expect when moving to Delaware and just some things to look out for when you're moving to Delaware. And I'll link that video here so you can take a look at it. But this video, for the sake of not duplicating the content, this video is going to take a more deep look into specifically the offer all the way until settlement table. So for the purpose of this video, we're going to assume that you've already got your pre-approval letter, assume you've already picked out your agent, and assume that the home that you want is the one that you've just found. So you're not still looking for homes, you've identified the home that you want. So we're going to be taking you from offer all the way until settlement through it with today's video. The first step is going to be drafting your offer. So any good buyer's agent is going to be able to help you along the way and make sure that you position yourself in the best light possible to get your offer accepted. In today's market in 2021, obviously you need to put your best foot forward and come in with a strong offer from the start. It's definitely been a wild market, and when you're seeing 5, 10, 15, 20 offers on a property, you need to make sure that the offer you're submitting is the best one possible. So a good agent is going to be able to give you, as far as price goes, we'll give you a range as to where we think you need to be in order to win the offer. We're not going to give you the exact dollar amount, that's for you to determine, but we will be able to give you, a pretty close range as to what we think will be needed to get the job done. And then you'll discuss the terms with the agent, what inspections you're going to have, home inspection, septic inspection, termite inspection. And then what other contingencies you're going to add. Maybe there's some furnishings that you want to keep in there, or maybe there's something that they say is included that you don't really want. You're going to want to detail those in the initial offer, and you'll be able to work through that with your agent. And then once you submit that offer, if you are one of the lucky ones, or maybe not so lucky ones, if your offer's counted right away by the sellers, you've got a pretty good shot at getting it. However, in today's market, we're seeing a lot of multiple offer situations. So most of the time in a multiple offer situation, what you'll see is the sellers will come back and say, hey, we want the highest and best offer from everyone by this date. So then you're going to need to take your offer. You can either say, hey, that is our highest and best. We went in there with our best foot forward. That's what our highest and best offer is. Or maybe you're someone that needs to revise your offer. Like, oh man, I could take our price, maybe we'll go up another $5,000, or maybe we don't need that termite inspection, or maybe we don't need to have the pool inspected. Whatever it may be, you want to make sure that when you do submit your highest and best offer, that it is your absolute best, that you're still protected as far as inspections go. In today's market, obviously a lot of people are removing all inspections, and they're going in with most of the time over asking price depending on the property, and you just want to make sure that you stay protected and your agent will help guide you through that process. So once you've gotten your offer submitted, now the waiting game begins. Once you hear back from the sellers that your offer has been accepted, congrats, you're now under contract. this is the first bit of difference between us and some of the surrounding states. I know New Jersey, for instance, has the attorney review period where they've got that 3-day grace period where the attorneys review the contract, make sure it's all, good to go. But here in Delaware, we don't have an attorney review period. Once you're under contract, you need to do your best ability to meet the deadlines as defined in the contract. The contracts we use here in Delaware are all standard form contracts. You've got the ability to make some changes in addendums and that kind of stuff where you can add some stuff to the contract, but for the most part, the main contract pages, they're the same for every real estate transaction here in Delaware, so there's not a need for the attorney review period at all. Like I said, once you do have an accepted contract and you're under contract, you do have some deadlines that you need to meet along the way. So maybe you've got, a 3-day deadline to have your deposit in, or maybe you've got a 10-day deadline to get your home inspection done, and then an additional 3 days to get the results to the sellers. Whatever those deadlines are, your agent should be able to create a list for you so you can keep an eye out and make sure that you're staying on top of what those deadlines will be and meet those deadlines, so that way you don't default on your side of the contract. Once you've met all your deadlines, you're likely going to have some length of waiting period between that final deadline and when you actually settle on the home. Depending on the way your contract is set up, that could be as short as just a few days, or it could be as long as a month or two. It really all depends on your particular situation. But the important thing to keep in mind is in that waiting period, you don't do anything to adversely affect your financial situation. So you don't want to go open any new credit cards or any loans or anything like that. You don't want to go out and buy a new car. You don't want to go furnish the new house with your credit card. Whatever you do, you want to be paying cash for most of the stuff you buy. Try and spend a little bit less during that time period, because the underwriter is going to do a final check before you're allowed to get the mortgage and settle on the home. If the underwriter goes into your file, they realize that you've opened some credit cards, you bought a new truck last week, you put all the furniture for the new house on your credit card. Unfortunately, you've just kicked yourself out of qualifying for that home, and now you're not going to be able to purchase the home. So you need to make sure, like I said, that you're doing whatever you can to avoid using your credit cards as much as possible, and don't do anything to adversely affect your financial situation. During this time period, I know it's just a short amount of time. Hopefully you can hang tight. You can spend all the money you want after closing, but just make sure that during that time period that you're being financially responsible and not spending a whole bunch of money. At least 3 days prior to closing, your lender is going to send you what's called a closing disclosure. The closing disclosure is going to cover everything on your side of the transaction. It'll have what your monthly mortgage payment will be, along with the interest and everything else that's broken down into that. And then it'll have all of your closing costs broken out into line items. So it's going to show you, what your attorney's fees are, what the lender's fees are, if there's any administration fees for the real estate company that you chose. It's going to show you what your taxes are. It's really going to break down line by line what each item is in your closing costs. That gives you an idea of what the cash is that you need to bring to close. Not an actual suitcase full of cash, please. You're gonna have to wire that money in and then bring a personal check to closing, just in case there's any small difference based on just day-by-day prorations and that kind of stuff. But it's going to break down and give you an idea of exactly what that amount of money is that you need to close. Make sure you go over this with a fine-tooth comb, and that it's kind of lining up with what you expected, and that there's no surprises on there. If there are surprises on there, talk to your agent, talk to your lender. Hopefully they can get an answer for you, and it's not, just out of the blue. Hopefully it's something that is easily explained. But make sure that you actually review the closing disclosure. That way you don't show up for closing and you're completely taken aback by the amount of money that you are needed to close. After you've received the closing disclosure and those 3 days have passed, now you're moving on to the settlement date. On settlement day, you're going to have two different things you need to take care of. You're going to have your final walkthrough, which is going to be your last chance to walk through the home, make sure the sellers didn't, do anything crazy to the home. They didn't put holes in the wall, moving furniture out. They didn't rip out any light fixtures. The home is the way that it's supposed to be. Everything that's supposed to be there is there, and there's not anything extra there that's not supposed to be there. They didn't leave a pile of trash for you to clean out or anything like that. Once you've had the ability to walk through the home and you find everything satisfactory and the way it should be, now you move on to settlement. Settlement's going to be held at your attorney's office, and it's going to be where you sign all your paperwork and you become an official Delaware homeowner. So if you're getting a loan, You're going to have all the loan documents to sign, the whole loan packet to sign, which can be significant. So hope you're prepared to sign your name a bunch. And then you're going to have all the papers to sign as well, which legally transfer the property from the sellers to you. This can be a lengthy process. It can take about an hour or so to actually sign all the papers between your side and the seller side. During COVID, we didn't have the two sides meeting together, so it went a little bit quicker at times. But plan to be in the attorney's office for probably 45 minutes to an hour if you're getting a loan. If you're paying cash, it could be less time than that because you don't have the loan documents to sign. But once you walk out of the attorney's office, you're officially a homeowner. It's now your place to call yours, and you can start making improvements, or you can move right in, however you want to do it. But you are an official homeowner here in Delaware, so congratulations. Alright, so that's going to do it for our video on contract to closing here in Delaware. I hope I was able to clear up some things, maybe some questions that you might have had before. Hope I made the process a little more clear. I can't peel back the layer of every single deal because they all have their own, minute differences and, different wrinkles that they need to be ironed out. But that should give you a pretty good idea of what to expect here in Delaware when you're buying a home from contract to close. I hope you found some value in today's video. If you did take something away from today's video, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button down below, smash the notification bell next to it so you can stay in the loop each week when we go live with these new videos. And then, like I mentioned before, if you're somebody that's looking to make a move to Delaware, or you're a first-time home buyer looking to buy a home here in Delaware, that's what I help you with on a daily basis, and I'd love the opportunity to help you. So again, my information is down in the description. I'll throw it again here on the screen now. If I can help in any way, answer any questions, help on your search process, I'm more than happy to. So please don't hesitate to reach out, give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, whichever's easiest for you. I'm happy to help however I can. I look forward to seeing you guys next week. Peace.